Rules of Great Nomad Wrestling. Description: the Great Nomad Wrestling is a free, united belt nomad wrestling. Belt wrestling is one of the most ancient kinds of wrestling. It's present in the culture of many world nations. The rules of the Great Nomad Wrestling, the types of techniques, the procedure for determining the winners are borrowed from the rules of traditional kinds of wrestling of Azerbaijan, Iran, Turkish, Kazakh, Kyrgyz, Uzbek, Russian, Turkmen, Mongolian, Tatar, Korean, Japanese and other nations of the world. The Great Nomad Wrestling is performed without consideration of the weight of the wrestlers, absolute weight category. They revealed only the absolute winner without a definition of the second, third, etc. place on the principle the great winner is one and all others are equivalent, the losers. The basis of the Great Nomad Wrestling laid the simplest principles. The wrestling is carried out with the seizure of the opponent's belts and through brings victory. All the procedures of holding the competitions in the Great Nomad Wrestling correspond to the traditions and culture of nomadic nations. The competition is held in the same format as centuries ago. Competitions arena. The Great Nomad Wrestling is on a traditional carpet sherdak 7 by 7 meters, inside which are permitted held the techniques of the wrestlers. Uniform: pants made of a thick cotton fabric below the knees and waistband of a soft cotton cloth with a length of 250 and 80 centimeters wide, which width would be determined. Wrestling is held barefoot. Each participant has white and black colors belts. The bout. At a meeting, wrestlers become face to face and greet each other, having put the right hand compressed in a fist on heart and having executed a nod the head down. Each wrestling is carried out in 3 stages. The first stage is the capture of the worst. The first stage is held inside the circle with a diameter of 1.5 meters. Wrestlers become inside a circle in front of each other, and the first wrestler puts forward one of the first on the choice. Another wrestler grabs the worst with both hands and holds. The task of the first wrestler consists in using hands to release the worst from hands of the contender. Thus, he can use the free hand. In the struggle, they can only use hands. Other body parts must not be used. It is forbidden to put one foot and push the opponent outside the circle. Then the wrestlers switch roles. At the first stage, each wrestler is given a maximum of 15 seconds. If after this time the wrestler failed to free his worst, attempting passes to another wrestler. The winner in the first stage is the one who spent the least amount of time to release his comma from the hands of the opponent. The time is calculated by the knock of the folk drum instruments, the bulbas. The winner of the first stage gets the right to take the first capture with both hands for the opponent's belts, choosing a convenient belt capture, namely right hand, left hand, capture through the back or the other capture. If the first stage ended with a draw, then the both athletes in the bout take a neutral grip at the same time. With their left hand, grab the belt on the left side, and with the right hand, sticking the hand between the hand of the opponent body, grabbing on the right side. The second stage, bout. The duration of the bout is 5 minutes. After the announcement of the participants of bouts, on the way out to the wrestlers are given 2 minutes, and an additional 1 minute is given in case of delay. The ceremony of presentation of the wrestlers is a few minutes. The judge ties each of the wrestlers' belt, winding it from the back to the stomach with one fist, which puts a wrestler at the level of the navel. Next, the wrestlers assume the initial position, and after a signal grab, the belt of the opponent with both hands, do not wrap the belt in his hands. After the judge signal, the beginning of the bout, the wrestlers are allowed to catch the belt, throwing an arm across an opponent. or to fight for the belt grip with one hand, while the other hand is allowed to perform the seizure for legs, arms, neck and pants. The wrestling is only in the front. For a victory, wrestlers need to execute a throw of the contender on a back or on a side from a back. If a wrestler performs a throw the opponent on the stomach or on the side closer to the stomach, then the bout shall resume in the front, while the attacking wrestler is given the right of first comfortable grip. If wrestler performs a throw across the back, deflection, and falls on his back or side, and without stopping flips the opponent on his back, he scored a clean throw and win. If a wrestler performs a throw across the back, deflection, and lands on his back, and the opponent sets it on top and controls his opponent, awarded the victory. If after the throw through the back of the wrestlers fall backwards and flips without stopping on his opponent's side, he is also rolling over from the back to side, and the opponent not covering him, and both are in the neutral position, the admission is not counted, and the struggle begins over again in the rack with mutual capture. If during the execution of receiving one wrestler, the arms of the second fighter released from the capture zone, the first wrestler has the right, without any interruption, straightaway reception. If a wrestler failed to complete the admission, the judge returns atlas to the starting position, and the struggle continues. The attacking wrestler who has broken a belt gets the right to seize a belt of the contender the first. If a wrestler led the belt with both hands 2 times, he loses. If during the execution of the attack one wrestler, the second wrestler is outside of the carpet, the judge returns atlas to the starting position, and the wrestling continues while the attacking wrestler receives the right to grab the belt of the rival the first. If the wrestler 2 times leaves limits of a carpet, defeat is counted to it. If both wrestlers in a mutual action equivalent falling on his side or belly, and more action does not occur, then the bout begins anew. If during an attack by one wrestler, the second wrestler touches the third point, knee, hands or buttocks of the carpet, the attacking wrestler can continue his action. If it doesn't finish attack with a throw on a back, then fight resumes in a rack. The attacking wrestler is given the right of the first capture. Simultaneous mutual outside the carpet is not evaluated, and the judge returns atlas to the starting position, and the wrestling continues, with the wrestlers at the same time take seizure. If one of the wrestlers laid to rest for more than 1 minute, he loses. If one of the wrestlers is injured and cannot continue the bout, or providing him with medical assistance over 3 minutes, he loses. After the end of bout, wrestlers line up on a carpet, in one line with the judge, to face 2 spectators, and the judge raises a hand of the winner. Further, they turn around face to face and thank each other for fair bout, having put the right hand compressed in a fist on heart and having executed a knot the head downwards. The winner will be an additional 3rd stage if within 5 minutes into the bout. The 3rd stage, bout in short capture. The length of the bout in a short seizure is the preliminary, and semi-final bouts is 2 minutes, in the final 5 minutes. Bout in short the capture is carried out in the case after regular time of the bout wrestlers does not have a clean shot. In this case, both wrestlers stand in front of each other, exactly so that feet of one wrestler are put opposite to feet of another, end to end. Further, wrestlers at the same time take double capture hands for a belt, thrusting hand under a belt and twisting once. Further, according to the command of the judge, Kurosh, wrestling, they begin to wrestling. In the 3rd phase, it's not forbidden to get any hands holds for the belt, otherwise wrestler is assigned the loss. In the preliminary rounds, in the fight in short the capture, the winner is the wrestler who is in for 2 minutes to execute any through the opponent of his back. If one of the wrestlers had a clean shot, both wrestlers will be defeated. In the semi-finals, the bout takes place inside a circle with a diameter of 3 meters, and it should be within 2 minutes to make one of the following: perform a throw on the back, belly or side, to push the opponent out of the carpet, to force the opponent to touch the carpet at third point, or be forced to let go of the grip for the belt. In the ending of grip wrestler, will declare the one who within 5 minutes will execute a pure through the contender on a back. If not, fighters are given an additional 2 minutes, during which the fights take place inside a circle with a diameter of 3 meters, and to win, you must do one of the following: perform a throw on the back, belly or side, to push or to bring the opponent outside of a circle with a diameter of 3 meters, forcing the opponent to touch the carpet at third point, or be forced to let go of the grip for the belt. If after additional 2 minutes the fighters will not commit any of the above actions, the winner is not determined and both wrestlers are considered equal. The loser. Permitted actions. The following actions and receptions are allowed in competitions: exposure legs, the legs of the opponent, tripping, hooking, shoot, wings, hand grips for hand, wrist, neck, legs, pants. Throw through a hip, a band, throws twisting, with capture of a foot, with an emphasis one knee in the contender, push the carpet. Forbidden actions. In the competition, the following forbidden actions and practices: make special action for the purpose of drawing to the rival of an injury and harm to health, a deliberate throw on the head, turning of hands, blows by any parts of the body, bite or stretch, pull over ears and hair, to capture the finger grip with your hand behind your head, perform throws without gripping the belt, poke fingers in his mouth, eyes or ears.